Hello viewers, I'm Joe,
And I'm Banjo-Paste.
and this is Banjo-Kazooie a Good Game? Part 1 of a multi-video series.
In this series, we're going to be analyzing some of the design choices throughout Banjo-Kazooie and how they work to guide or reward the player in some way. But you know, we're amateurs, so don't expect anything incredibly deep or thought-provoking.
In other words, we suck.
Pretty much. Okay, so here is the part where Banjo learns how to jump.
And in front of him are a bunch of stumps. So the first thought the player would have is to jump on the stumps, or give the jump a test.
Because he wants to test out his new ability. And Rare does something interesting with the camera here. And you notice that when you first jump up on the stump, instantly the honeycomb comes into view.
And it gives the player an idea of how high Banjo could jump.
Yeah, because you notice that Banjo can't make this jump. But if you remember,
flap over it.
Yeah, if you remember the high jump, then that jump's high enough to reach. So right off the bat, that shows you that it shows you that there are some jumps that are only accessible when using the high jump.
And that platform looks about 2 banjos high, so when the player sees a platform that high, the first thought is to do the ZA jump.
And now they know this because they saw that shiny thing on there and wanted to get it.
Alright, Bottles just taught us how to swim, so we're gonna go test it out.
And here's this nice little body of water over here. So we just hit B.
Alright, the camera shifts underwater right behind Banjo. Gives a better view for the player. And, alright, you just want to test your swimming ability out. Fast swim at B. Of course.
And then if you're kind of eagle-eyed, you might catch this little alcove there. And bam, honeycomb piece.
And this tells the player there might be some goodies hidden underwater in the future.
So here is another section of platforms.
And in the stump area, it showed the player how high Banjo can jump. But in this area, it gives the player a better understanding of how far Banjo can jump.
So take the first jump, easy enough. Second jump, easy.
Oh, but this one's farther.
And you fall in.
Alright, so
no way to make the jump.
What's the deal? Alright, so we're gonna try this again.
And so you think back to the other jump that you learned, which is double jump, and that keeps you in the air for a little bit longer. So you try that, and you make it.
But it can also give you an extended length in your jump, instead of an extended height, like what Bottles explained.
So this shows that there are some jumps that are far enough that Banjo can't make with a normal jump. Okay, so Bottle just told us how to climb trees, and now that we know that concept, we see this tree over here, so we'll climb it.
Alright, and if you notice the camera, ooh, looky what we have here.
You see that when you climbed up the tree, the camera was positioned, pretty well to show this honeycomb over here. Once again, rewarding the player for trying out the ability that they just learned.
Well, get that motherfucker. Alright, so here we are. We just learned the beak barge attack, which is some kind of beak sweeping move on the ground. And in the other tutorial areas, we learned that when we learn a certain button command in that area, then the game wants you to do something with that button command in that area. So here we have a few rocks with eyes on them, And an interesting thing to note are these eyes indicate that they aren't just there for decoration, and they hold some importance to the game.
Like
And
when compared to like just a tree, which
yeah.
doesn't have eyes, and it's just you could tell it's part of the background.
hmm
But these things, they blink, so you can see that they're, well, living things.
hmm So you should use the move you just learned on them.
So you try it out. Sure
What do you
enough,
know?
it breaks. And of course, the player gets rewarded for destroying all of them.
The same thing in the next area where the player learns basic attacks. The game also introduces the concept of enemies and does so in a straightforward and fairly uninteresting way.
Alright, so we're in Gruntilda's lair now. And so you walk out, and the first thing that catches your eye is this little slope. So you go and walk up, and then you slip down. So you try it again, and you keep slipping.
Oh, come on, just like jump. Get there somehow.
Work either. So you come to the conclusion that you probably can't get up this slope, at least yet. So you look for another place to go. And then instantly you're drawn over to this path over here.
Alright, Bottles just taught us the concept of jiggies, and we're gonna need one jigsaw piece to open up the first level.
So we walk out here, and you notice the camera, it positions it so you can see the jiggy. And even if you don't know what a jiggy is, you can still see that it's something shiny and it catches your eye. And that's interesting and a really smart use of camera work, because when you first walk in, you would see the path and then see this path, and you really wouldn't notice the jiggy until you walk out. So Rare sort of made it, design the level for you to go in order, so you know what a jiggy is before you collect one. And so now that you see it up here, you just hop up these platforms and get your jiggy.
Voila! Alright, we just used the first jigsaw piece to open up the first level, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to cover Mumbles Mountain in the next episode. I hope you enjoyed this installment of Is Banjo-Kazooie a Good Game?
And if you didn't, it's our first try, so we'll get better as we go along, hopefully.
I'm Joe.
And I'm Banjo-Paste.
See ya.